Hi, welcome to this video tutorial, which is on how to fit a belt on a Hotpoint TDL range of tumble dryer, but it would also cover some Creda, Indesit and Arista models as well. Before you start, turn off the power to the machine and remove the plug. The lid on this machine is held on by 2 screws under the ledge at the back, but some have 3 screws. With this lid you have to lift it slightly and push it backwards, but other models vary in how they come off. This console panel is held on by these 2 screws on the left side. Be careful when you unscrew them that they don't drop inside the cabinet, because they are sited right next to the pointed end of 2 other screws which make them hard to hold. Therefore a Phillips screwdriver magnetic tip would be very handy in a situation like this, especially when it comes to refitting the screws. Pull the timer knob off by using a piece of rag between the jaws of a pair of pliers. This will prevent damaging it. You can now ease the panel to the right and lift it off. The 2 wires on the half heat button just pull off. If you have more than one switch, then label which wires fit each one. It's not important which terminal on the switch they fit on, but it is important to get the correct switch. Undo the screws holding the door lock in place. It's easier to remove it now while the panel is still attached to the cabinet. The switch cables are normally held by a piece of wire attached to the panel, so it will stay put when undone. The kick strip just pulls off. Grip either side and ease it out. There's a number of screws on the bottom of the front panel that need to be removed, and it's better to take them out first before the top one so you can hold the panel and save it from falling if needed. Don't undo the screws on the far outside of the silver panel, they hold part of the cabinet together. That's not to say the machine will fall apart if you do remove them, but it could make refitting the front a little more awkward. Now you can undo the screws on the top of the panel. Under normal circumstances the front panel will stay put until you pull it out, because the drum's resting on it. So grip the inside of the door opening and ease it away from the cabinet. It won't come far because of the wiring, which is still hooked up to the switch and the exhaust thermostat. Untie the switch wires and unplug the thermostat wires. Now it can be put to one side. Remove the internal air ducting tube and put that to one side also. That will be refitted from the back when the machine is reassembled. You'll always get a build-up of fluff in tumble dryers, and this one's no exception. So remove as much as possible by hand and vacuum the rest out. It really is good policy to clean the inside of the cabinet as thoroughly as possible before reassembling it after a repair of any kind. It may well have been the build-up of fluff and grit that could have stopped the drum from turning and caused the belt to snap in the first place. Run a cloth over the drum as well, because this will also have a layer of dust on it. This Hotpoint tumble dryer is one of the stretchy types that fit directly around the drum and the motor pulley. But there are ones that use a tension pulley or pulleys to take up any slack in the belt. Loop the new belt over the front of the drum and slide it back to the mark left by the original belt. Now stick about 3 pieces of tape over the belt and onto the drum. This will hold it in place if you need to turn the drum while fitting it to the motor. Use a screwdriver as a lever and place it between the drum and the belt. Hook the end of it under the motor shaft and lever the belt down. You can now slide the belt onto the motor shaft and withdraw the screwdriver. Rotate the drum a few times to line up the belt on the drum and the motor. If the tape is still in place, remove it and turn the drum again just to make sure it's not about to jump off. Make sure the exhaust vent area and thermostat are clean and clear of fluff. Hook the door switch into the hole in the front panel. These switches have a lip on the front of them that helps in their location into the front panel and must be correctly inserted before the screws are fitted. Otherwise it won't fit properly, the door won't close and the machine won't work. When the switch is in place, you can fit the screws. I'm standing behind the panel to do the screws up for the sake of filming, but you'll be directly in front of it and it'll be a lot easier from that angle. Although you will have to hold the switch with one hand while you put the first screw in. The bottom of the panel rests on two ledges that stick out from the base of the cabinet. When it's in place, lift the drum slightly and the panel will slot inside it. When you have the panel sighted correctly, fit the screws along the top first. This will hold it in place for you to refit the ones underneath. The lower screws are normally located in the same position as the ones on top. Before refitting the console panel, connect the wires to the half heat button, and if you have any other buttons, connect the wires to them also. You should have labelled which ones fit each button when you removed them. This lip on the fascia panel hooks into the cabinet just here. Hook it on and replace the two internal screws. Be extra careful when replacing these screws that they don't drop inside the cabinet, or you may have a job retrieving them. Another plus for a magnetic screwdriver tip. Refit the timer knob. It will only fit one way, so check that the flat side is in line with the shaft before pushing it on. Fit the top and screw it down. Then fit the kick strip, which only pushes on. Just one job left to refit the vent pipe. Remove the collar and slide the tube into the machine. You'll probably have to put your arm inside the tube to get it to fit properly on the exhaust section on the front panel. When it's fitted onto the lip correctly, the outside edge at the back of the machine will fit flush with the cabinet. I've tilted the tumble dryer forward so you can see what's happening, but you wouldn't need to do this. When you put your arm through the tube, you can feel the lip on the exhaust manifold on the front panel. This makes it easier to fit. Replace the collar and fit the screws. On behalf of Selfix UK, we'd like to thank you for watching this video and hope you found it interesting. Goodbye.